Hello, probers.
Howdy, howdy.
Welcome to another installment of But It Was Aliens, the extraterrestrial comedy podcast brought to you by myself, Moonwalker, and my cohort, Kevin the Grey.
Whoa.
We are two former MIB agents. We were the highest rank you could possibly receive in the entire organization, although we never made it past the front desk. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret. One of us did make it in. Whilst acting as a distraction, Greybeard was able to slip past the guards at the front and make it to the file room, where he downloaded as many cases as he could.
It's true.
He nearly got caught, but he fought on his feet and threw the red dress he was wearing in the face of the guard and legged it.
I like red.
It's the files from that heroic event that we bring you weekly, as we take it in turns to delve into the mysteries of the extraterrestrial.
You'd think they wouldn't be stupid enough to keep all their documents in one place, wouldn't you?
But they were.
Indeed. Government use the most archaic filing systems known to humankind to save money.
They probably think that people don't have the balls to break in.
Wearing a dress.
But they saw your balls and they knew that you had them.
After I removed said dress.
And we made it out with those files.
Free ballin'. Jiggle.
Now, during our cases, we have visited a few farms over our time.
Haven't we just?
Some have involved sex, abductions, cattle mutilations, but today we cover something else entirely.
When you think of a farm, that is in farms we've covered, is the sex farm the first one you think of?
Actually, no.
I'm glad, because I obviously made that part of that probe up. He was never in an orgy, but... Well, he might have been, I don't know that.
The one that comes to mind is the guy milking the cow.
Ah.
That one.
Yeah, you made that one grim, didn't you?
Titty fiddler? Something like that.
Titty fiddler.
Udder juggler.
The titty fiddler
like
on the moo.
So we travelled to Brazil today. It was 1973, where we meet Luis Fernandes, a Brazilian farmer.
We've been on a Brazilian farm before as well.
That we have. Mr. Villas Boas, I believe.
Indeed. Yep, who got
A
lubed
sex
up.
farm.
Yep. He had sex above a farm, I guess. That makes the farm a sex farm. By the way, you called me a hoa earlier on.
No,
You cockroach.
I called you a kohua.
Why you call me a hoa fawa? I like the term sex worker, okay?
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Greybeard prefers to be called a sex worker.
You cockroach.
And Mr. Fernandez was out minding his own damn business when he heard a strange noise. It was a buzzing sound, but not one that he's recognised before. So before you say it, it wasn't a bee, fly, wasp, dildo, or the electrical hum that you can sometimes hear when you're near a power station. I was also writing this whilst waiting for a client at work, and there was some static from one of the walkie-talkies. It wasn't that sound either. Also, the name walkie-talkie needs to be changed, because it sounds like someone just witnessed the action and named it.
Someone was taking a walkie and they heard a talkie. That's a walkie-talkie.
You can walk and talk at the same time.
Is that what they call them in other countries as well?
I don't know. Or do they just call them radios?
I can't recall.
But then if I put radio, it would just get confused with an actual radio. So walkie-talkie it is.
I don't know if it still works, but back in the day when you used to have one, if you put it on a certain frequency, you used to get like police radio interference. You'd hear what's going down. We need donuts! Stat! That was me on the walkie-talkie, by the way. I love donuts.
Also remember that time when we first got our Apple Watches?
Yeah. Me, you, and our friend John.
Just sending little walkie-talkie messages from around the country.
I had a look to see if anyone had that activated the other day, weirdly.
No, I turned mine off. I can't have that going off where I work, and you especially can't have that going off where you work.
Once I was literally in court, and it suddenly occurred to me that I'd forgot to turn it off that morning, having have it on, and we were pissing about the previous night, and you can't fiddle with digital things when you're standing up in court, and it was just in the back of my mind the whole time I was thinking, shit, please don't go off, I
think every now and again we should just switch them on but not tell anyone and just see what happens. Well, I digress.
We digress.
Not only did he hear this odd buzzing sound, which was not the electrical buzzing of a street sign, overhead lamp, tattoo gun, or dildo, but he
I was waiting for it. It's not in your notes, but I was waiting for it.
But he spotted something in the sky too, which was a few kilometres outside of the city of Quezada? Perplexed by what he saw, Mr. Fernandes watched as the object got bigger and bigger. This wasn't the object growing in size and stature. This was the object getting closer and closer.
Can you verify that, though?
Yes.
But
later.
We don't know what technology the aliens have, assuming this to be aliens. They could have been getting bigger and smaller just to piss with people on the ground.
I suppose that is true.
We're going to make them think we're coming for them. We're actually miles away. That's
what if they were right in front of him at the time and
voice.
They were just
hey
like getting bigger?
Yeah, like blinking. Also, just remind me very quickly, what's happened in this case so far?
He's heard a sound, which isn't a dildo, and he's seen something in the sky.
And it's blinking like it's getting closer and closer. Well, I've made up that it's blinking. I'm inserting details into your story now. He's also naked on the farm, because it's a sex farm.
He's also not on the farm.
What is a sex farm?
Dunno. Would it be...
Yeah, you do.
Like a farm where you just turn up?
Well, in a farm, you make produce. So is it a farm that makes produce from sex, or have they just taken over a farm and turned it into like an adult entertainment centre?
So a sex farm.
Please continue.
The object was getting closer still, but Mr. Fernandes wasn't moving. Whether this was out of curiosity, bravery, or fright, we don't know. But he stood his ground nonetheless, and the object then proceeded to land 30 metres away.
So we've covered a few cases like this, and people tend to act in a couple of ways. They either freeze and watch doing nothing, or they go to get an axe and then throw it. You remember that one?
Yep. Or they kick it.
Yeah, they either go with...
attack or stand. No one runs.
Fight or freeze. Yeah, we never get a flee, do we?
Oh, to be fair, the last one I covered, I think it's the last one I covered, one of the last ones I covered, I cannot remember his name for shit. He legs it, and then we hear the voice of the alien telling him that they're not hostile.
Oh, yeah.
So he legged it,
but then
and
he
then
stopped. But still, the
but
freeze response
what was his
kicked in.
His nationality?
What was his
initial reaction? Was to leg it.
Didn't stick by it though, did he?
Leg it.
I'm sure I've asked you this before, but in the moment, what do you think your response would be?
Don't know.
I feel like you'd probably look to fight it, and I'd leg it.
I think I would look to leg it.
And I'd probably fight it. I'm like, I don't believe in you.
But at the same time, I'd be curious and want to know if I can get superpowers. Or some weapon that allows me to do something that's cool.
You're getting spooned.
I mean, they can cuddle me if they want.
You know, that
I'm
ain't
a
the type
hugger.
of spooning we're talking about. Gonna eat your ass like a yogurt.
That's grim.
Oh. Possibly the grimmest thing I've yet said. Let's see if we can
Ever.
top it.
Well, once this craft landed, 2 small aliens disembarked from the object, which is now identified as an unidentified flying object.
Well, now I'm confused. Is this picture of aliens you've put in the research notes what the aliens looked like?
It's
Or
just
is it
2
just for
aliens
funsies?
because
You could.
yeah.
So you've shown me greyeens. They look like the body shape of a grey, but they're kind of got a green hue to their skin.
Green hue.
Yeah, so greyeens. Second time we've come across those, I believe.
So one of these creatures was holding what Fern describes as a flashlight. The alien being looked directly at him, raised the flashlight-like device, and zapped Fernandes and his donkey in the face, leaving both of them paralysed.
Donkey? Donkey? You've put a picture of Donkey in there. Donkey? I know you said flashlight, but I've read that in your notes.
Flashlight?
Yeah.
The whole time I was writing this, I was like, please don't accidentally write flashlight.
So, how long has Fernandes had a donkey?
Literally didn't know anything about the donkey until that moment. There was no mention of the donkey whatsoever until he was zapped in the face and it zapped his donkey as well.
It chose to paralyse both of them. Mm-hmm. Oh, I hope the donkey is included in whatever happens next. Was the... What even is that?
Paralysed donkey.
Mr. Woundwalker has...
Woundwalker.
Mr. Woundwalker. Not for many years. There was a time. What do you even call this type of image? Claymation or something?
I think it was a cake.
Okay, it's a donkey cake that looks like clay.
So I also have a video for you, and I can imagine this being the alien's response afterwards. I would also like to say this first bit is simply there because it's hilarious.
Okay, I know this.
So after we take the mug shots, we bring them on down here where they wait to be interviewed by the arresting
Mr. Woundwalker is laughing already. He's obsessed with the kid in this scene.
The look.
It's from The Hangover.
Loserville. Follow me. All right, let's do it.
Look at the look.
We've got one more charge left. Anybody want to do some shooting up here?
Alan just kicked the phone out of the kid's hand and he gave him a look.
And it's also the look when he stands up.
Yeah, and it's slow-mos.
Yeah.
It's now happening. This is one of Woundwalker's favourite scenes in any film.
Same instructions, just point, aim, and shoot.
I'm not even watching it.
You're still laughing, just you know what's happening from the sound. You've watched it so many times. The kid's got the red laser and it's moving up to the face.
Don't be afraid to ride the lightning.
Don't be afraid to ride the lightning.
Shot him straight in the face.
Face! That's the alien's reaction.
The donkey's staggering around.
All right, everybody relax. Take it easy. We've seen it before. He just needs a little extra. There we go. Some of these big boys, you got to give them 2 shots. All right, kids, who wants to get their fingerprints done, huh? Come on, let's go.
Ah, that's amazing. The 2000s had some of the greatest comedy.
You don't get many
But
films
don't.
of that kind of standard, do you, these days?
Nope.
It's just constantly superhero films and remakes.
That, Napoleon Dynamite, Step Brothers. Such good films. Just comedy
Old school.
You're my boy, Blue. My boy, Blue. Comedic timing at its best. So, when Fernandes awoke, he claims that he was several meters away from the spot where he was shot.
Ah.
He was unstable on his feet, dizzy, and was trembling. His head was splitting from the intense headache he was suffering with, and he was having trouble breathing and had burn marks on his face.
Oh, is that from the tasering flashlight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He was zapped in the face.
Yeah. Burn the shit out of him. Damn.
Fern was found by a local cowboy, and this cowboy done the good deed of taking Fern back home to his wife,
How do you know where he lived?
who called in the best doctors. 2 things before we continue. 1, I don't know whose wife he was taken to. Not sure if it was Fern's or the cowboys. And 2, rest in peace to the donkey.
Wait. Donkey was dead?
We hear nothing more from Donkey in this entire probe.
Put a picture in of a donkey ghost rising from the donkey's grave with a tagline underneath. You didn't do much, but still. Oh, I'm going to get that on your gravestone when you pass.
Better be with a picture of a donkey. Otherwise I'm going to be disappointed.
What happened to the donkey?
Wait, no idea.
But I need
Literally,
to know.
it's not mentioned
Can
again.
we call them and ask?
Just wee donkey.
I mean, at this point, I care more about the donkey than I do about Fern. Donkey didn't do nothing wrong.
Donkey didn't do much.
But still.
Do you reckon that's what they said to the donkey? No, he didn't do much. But still.
Poor donkey.
I'll also mention, so when I was looking for a picture like that, I stumbled across an article where some idiot is drunk and he claims he's going to knock a donkey out.
Oh, no.
And he sits on the fence of the donkey's pen or whatever.
Yeah.
And
This ain't going to go good, is
the
it?
other someone he was with, I should have put it in, but it's too long to put it in. He's given the donkey beer. The other guy's laughing, then he falls in the pen, and the donkey fucks him up. Proper starts biting his
kick.
legs.
Oh, bite.
Yeah, proper munching on him. And the other guy hops in, hits the donkey to try and get him off. He manages to scarp her out, but that donkey fucked him up.
Donkey didn't take no crap.
Nope. And I also watched a video of the dog that gets electrocuted on the electric fence and the donkey starts laughing. I'll show you that afterwards just for good measure. Quite a few donkey videos.
You've just searched donkeys, haven't you? You've gone on a proper tangent for several hours looking for donkeys.
Yep. So as I mentioned, the best doctors were called. These top doctors couldn't find what this mysterious condition was.
Oh, what, the burns and the...
Yep.
Okay.
Dr. Antonio Moreira Magales examined Fernandes and took the time to listen to his account. Dr. Antonio didn't believe in aliens, extraterrestrials, or flying saucers at the time, but did admit that something extremely serious had happened to Mr. Fernandes. Dr. A is a doctor though, so he did his job and prescribed a course of treatment for him to take. After recording all his information, Fernandes was prescribed an anti-allergy drug, a tranquilizer, and absolute rest.
Oh, is that a photo of him?
That is a photo
He
of
looks
Fernandes.
absolutely ruined. It's burnt quarter of his goatee off. So this is a chap who looks to be laying in a bed, possibly a hospital bed, but I'm not sure. He looks like he's in some kind of hospital gown, although it's off-white, like it's a little bit dirty.
Like a yellow vest, I think that is.
Yeah. His eyes are closed, his mouth is open, all haggard, like he's possibly on his last moments of life. He's got a grey goatee beard and what would be his right side, so as you're looking at it, our left side, the beard is just missing from the chin to the moustache, and then the moustache picks back up. His face looks kind of smooth and swollen, like it's burnt, yeah, towards the eyes and nose.
Mm-hmm.
That's
From the
gnarly.
cheeks upwards, it would seem.
So, anti-allergy drug, they think he might have had an allergic reaction to something. Is that the alternative theory I've just spoiled?
No. That didn't seem to help Fernandes, though. He continued to feel ill and his health was still declining. With severe pain throughout his body, the left side of his body suffered more and was still red, and the burning in his eyes didn't cease.
The left side suffered more, so it was like a stroke almost. Damn. Oh, another picture. Oh, that's a little bit indecent, bless him. It's another picture of this chap. His facial hair's grown a little bit more. He's got more stubble. He's got a vacant look. He's sat up almost like he's not quite fully conscious, or certainly not able to control his facial expressions. He's just staring vacantly into the distance. He's got a shirt that looks like a historical comic book prison shirt, so black and white stripes, and it's only done up the first two buttons, so his gut is hanging out, sadly. They could have given him some dignity.
It's probably
bless him.
hot in Brazil, though.
Yeah, I suppose, but did they need to take this photo? Couldn't they have
Sure.
thought of the chap's well-being? Bless him. But yeah, he looks pretty rough. It's that vacant stare, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Seen things.
Allegedly, truthfully, Fern's hair started to turn grey a few days later, and he was beginning to have lapses in memory. Those around him state that he was a fully functioning, healthy man before this, and that his health drastically declined and began to regress mentally and became mentally like a child. Multiple doctors couldn't figure it out, and neither could Dr. Antonio, but he did document the worsening condition. In April 1993, Fern unfortunately passed away, but before he did, it was documented that he could only mutter the words mum, give, and fear.
That's an unusual selection of words.
There were other witnesses that saw the UFO, including 2 students, a local radio broadcaster, and some military personnel. We do not have any science or skepticism to cover in this case, so let's summarise.
Well, we do. We've got had an allergic reaction to some farm chemical that made his face swell up theory, which is why they prescribed what they prescribed.
That's your
Anti-allergy
summary.
medication.
I mean, there's none from others.
Really?
So there is no
one's got their claws into this one?
science or skepticism to cover in this case.
No one's got their spoon into this one?
So let's summarise. So to summarise, we have the case of farmer Luis Fernandes, who was out walking when he heard a buzzing sound and spotted an object in the distance getting closer. 2 aliens get out the ship and shoot him in the face with their flashlight device, paralysing both him and his donkey. Rest in peace, donkey. When he awakes, he has a bunch of wounds and ailments, along with being dazed and confused. He's found by a local cowboy who takes him to his wife, unsure whose. Then he's seen by multiple doctors who have no idea what's happening to him. Dr. Antonio comes along and documents his ailments before suggesting a treatment which doesn't work. Fern's health deteriorates and his hair goes grey. Not only this, his mind was beginning to go too. He pretty much reverted back to a childlike state, and before he passed in 93, he was only able to speak 3 words. Mum, give, and fear.
Why would fear be one of your last words?
What if his mum gives him fear? So, Greybeard! Is Mr. Fernandes the first person to be specifically killed by an alien?
Why, you're raising your hands like you've won something?
To crack my back.
Oh, okay. So, he got absolutely murked, and he was dazed and confused. Could he even remember what happened to him? How do we know that it was an alien that tasered him in the face if he was all dazed and confused?
We have no idea if he
was only saying
remembers
3
what
words.
happens to him.
So
Although,
how do we know he and the donkey got tasered in the face?
to be fair, we don't. And we don't know if this story was made up by someone else to put into a book.
Okay. Not the best job of convincing me there with that line.
He just tells Dr. Antonio his account. But again, because he's not able to speak later on, we have no idea if this was a true account that was told to Dr. Antonio.
So there's no evidence like analysis on the field or anything like that? No alien chemicals?
I have no science. I have no skepticism.
Well, you've got plenty of skepticism, just no science.
I have no skepticism from others that were there or have investigated the case.
Well,
our skepticism doesn't count in science and skepticism.
It does. We make the rules. So, I don't think this was the first person, or indeed a person, that was specifically killed by an alien. I think it's much more likely that he's had some sort of accident on the farm or had some sort of reaction on the farm, hence the type of medication prescribed, anti-allergens, in his treatment plan that could have brought on some form of stroke, increasing his health needs further. In summary, I'm not saying that it was aliens. But what is your thought?
Now, I'm not saying it was aliens.
Oops.
But it was alien! No, fuck that. I'm not saying that.
Nearly spat on my drink.
Rest in peace to Mr. Fernandes. But we have no proof, no physical evidence that he was zapped in the face by these aliens. Mm-hmm. For all we know, he could have been on the farm messing around with something or out in the street. Mm-hmm. Something sparked up,
hit
him in his face, and that could have been the zap. Whilst unconscious, his mind could have portrayed what he thought had happened.
Who knows what happens when you're unconscious?
Or he may have been on the farm. It just says he was out at night. So he could have been on the farm by some type of chemicals and the fumes got to him, made him delirious, pressed a button that he shouldn't have pressed, sparks in the face.
Maybe he was farming something he shouldn't have been.
Also, there's no mention of the donkey. That
was frustrating.
Yeah.
I want to know what happened to Donkey.
But also, they speak about how quickly his health deteriorated. Within days, he went from having like black hair to grey hair, but it was 20 years before he passed. So it happened in 1973.
Occurred to me.
But he died in 1993.
Yeah.
It's quite possible he just had a stroke. His whole left side went. Mm-hmm. I've dealt with people that have had strokes before. Their face is sometimes puffy.
Yeah,
or
sadly
looks
so.
like it's swollen. I'm not saying that happens with everyone, but it could have happened with him. He may have had a stroke at the time, was near something and not assumed, but his mind may have thought that whatever he was near shot the bolt or whatever into his face. He could have literally found two kids on the farm and they had a flashlight and he had the stroke as they pointed the flashlight up. Mm-hmm. So, for me, I cannot say this is aliens. Also, there's no proof that he told that story about the aliens either.
Yeah, there's not enough meat on the bone again, is there?
No. I mean, that story could have just come from the doctor or someone.
Yeah, I need some milk on my cereal here.
Unfortunately, it looks like this is not aliens.
If you don't give me a spoon with my yogurt, I can't eat it.
So, as always, thank you for joining us for this week's probe. You can find us on Instagram at But It Was Aliens Podcast. We're on Facebook at But It Was Aliens, and our Facebook group is Extraterrestrial Towers. You can find us on the Twitter at But It Was Aliens, and on patreon.com/But It Was Aliens. I have been Moonwalker, and the boy in the red dress has been Greybeard, and we are But It Was Aliens. Remember, the truth is up there.
Up the dress.